Welcome to The Master Plan, a property podcast. I'm Rebecca Shackleton from Polka Dot Property.
And I'm Nikita Jenkin from Scouted Recruitment.
Nikita and I have come together to do this podcast with a goal of unpicking the complexities and the nuances of the property industry. We want to do that by interviewing guests who will offer insights on the industry and their career journeys.
We're really excited to have you on this journey with us, and we're going to have a lot of fun along the way.
Today, we are thrilled to have my good friend and content creature extraordinaire, Emily Watson, join us. Emily is the creative director at The Content Creature, and she loves the magic of words. With an extensive background in property development, Emily's worked in the industry for more than 15 years, and she spent a decade of that in marketing roles. This is where she discovered her love for all things creative, marketing, and social media. Emily, good afternoon.
Hello,
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So we might jump right in. I would love to sort of hear about your journey of your career, where you started and how you got here to creative director of The Content Creature. You started out as a PA.
I actually started as an office admin for Stockland in Perth. They were in South Perth at the time. I was a young 19-year-old and didn't know what I was doing, didn't know anything about the property industry.
Fresh-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yep. I was very excited to work for this big corporate business and had no idea what was about to unfold in my career there. And so I started as an office admin, moved into a PA role for a few years, and then I moved into the marketing team in the customer relations field. And from there, I got transferred to the Melbourne office. I had an opportunity come up, was meant to be for a year. I'm coming up to I just went past my 8 years in Melbourne. So
Stockland is good at that. They brought me down for a year as well, and that was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think they do that. There's a lot of Perth people that have,
There's a lot of Perth people in property development.
There's a lot.
I feel like it's actually sways the other way. So there's probably more people from Perth than people from
quite
Melbourne.
often they go back. So they'll come here and work here for a few years and then get married and have kids and move back to Perth. We've got some good friends that have been in Melbourne that have gone back to Perth.
A friend of mine's actually, little shout out here, they're putting together a community, and I think it's called the QAP, so the Community of West Australian Property Professionals. Just giving you a free shout out, guys. So I think they're creating some events because there's just so many people from Perth. And in recruitment, I meet someone, my boss, Jeremy, he's from Perth as well. And I meet someone and I say, oh, do you know Jeremy or do you know this person? And everybody knows everybody from Perth as well. It's like a little secret.
I think that's property
cult
in general.
I think it's the culture as well. Like when you're in Perth and you're in the property industry and then you hear of like the same kind of thing in Melbourne, but it's a better culture. It's just, too good a deal to kind of not take up and get over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been to Perth a few times and I describe it to people as like Canberra but with a beach.
A beautiful beach.
Lovely beaches, but like just it's like a little country town.
It is. It's beautiful.
It's changing.
I don't think it's anything like Canberra, but I'm probably very
Perth positive.
Yeah. But not so much that I want to live there again.
So you're at Stockland in a PA role?
Yes.
What next?
I went into CR, moved from Perth to Melbourne.
Just for everyone listening, CR
is customer relations.
Thank you.
And then
what does the customer relations role involve at Stockland? Because I hear about these roles, but I don't really know what you do.
It's dealing with resident. So once they've settled, lots of fencing issues, complaints. It's pretty much you're just there to be the contact person for.
Is this up until they move in?
It's changed now a lot. I think they have like a new system. They have a new team and everything. But when I was there, I was very much the person that all the complaints would come through to.
But this is while your house is being built?
Yes.
And then obviously once you would move in, there would be Owners Corp or other situations involved. The customer relations function would finish.
Not in a residential community. There's no owners corporation or anything like that. But there's often people need to get their fences done, as an example, and they need to contact their neighbours so that they can share a cost. So they contact Emily, and she would help facilitate that.
So are you their contact for the life of them living in this property?
You hand it over to council at some point. So like some of the inquiries you would get would be about parks and roads and like issues that have popped up. And so like if it was within our time frame of looking after that, we'd kind of deal with it. Otherwise, like, no, you're over to council now. You have to get in touch with them.
And so then you moved across to Satterley.
Mm-hmm.
What brought that decision? You'd been there nearly 10 years at Stockland. So was it just natural?
When I left, it was 10 years. Beck got in touch with me and they created a new role at Satterley, community development manager. And it was obviously very much more what I wanted to get into. I was looking to get into more of a marketing role at Stockland, and then this popped up and it was more around like events, community sponsorship and initiatives.
And that's something that Satterley has always done incredibly well. And I think probably, one of the leaders in the industry at understanding community and putting on events and activities to really engage people and to have that as a strategy. So Emily was a really great fit for us to come in and work less on the complaints and the fencing and all of that kind of side of it, and more on how do we actually engage the community, what type of events do we want to do. And Nigel Satterley particularly has really built the brand on that community engagement and cohesiveness in WA, and we wanted to replicate that in Victoria.
And then you started the Content Creature.
Yeah. So in the mess of COVID, had a bit of time on my hands. I had a 6-month-old daughter at home and I just wanted to use my brain. And just had some contacts who needed help with social media or content writing, which led to more clients just through word of mouth. And within a space of a month, I had about 5 clients. And it just kind of took off from there. And I think it all happened very organically, which sums up my whole business as well. It's all about being organic and authentic. And it's kind of just happened that way. And it's
Had
great.
you always wanted to start your own business? No,
never. It was never on my radar. And it's funny because...
And you were studying as well. So it was something that you were focused on through your studies, and then that kind of helped the evolution.
Yeah, but I honestly never in my wildest dreams thought it was just something I didn't even think of. My husband is a bit of an entrepreneur and he wants to have his own business. So I always thought that was something for him. And it's crazy to think that I've had this now for 2 years. And it's just, I still like pinch myself that I'm a business owner. I don't think I quite believe it.
So every business owner feels like that.
Can you explain in layman terms content marketing and why content is so important as part of the marketing strategy?
Yeah, sure. It's a good one. I get asked this a lot. I was recently asked it. What is content and what do you actually do? I get asked by family members all the time. My father-in-law, I hope he doesn't listen to this, got me a book recently, Social Media for New Businesses. That's what I do.
He got that for you as a gift and thought it would be for you to read.
Yeah, because people just don't understand what I do or what this whole content marketing is. And the way I explained it was probably, you could probably Google it and it would come up, but it's the creation and sharing of online materials, so your blogs, socials, podcasts, videos, emails, to kind of engage your audience. So I kind of think of it as like marketing when you think of like signage or like even websites kind of, but like that's like hooking people in. Content marketing is like engaging them and retaining them.
To getting them to stay.
Yeah.
So you have the lead comes in, but then how do you entertain the lead?
How do you offer them value and keep them coming back and make them a loyal customer?
Yeah.
And do you, if you were working with a client on their content strategy, would you put forward a strategy which would include content pillars and then write content which will relate specifically to the pillars, and then that would provide a roadmap in terms of how you can engage your audience?
Yeah, we'd look at audience personas at first is a big one as well. We'd look at tone of voice. We do the pillars. And then build a bit of a content strategy around that. So everything that you're sharing or producing or distributing is aligned to your audience and ensuring that you're engaging them and giving them the value that they want.
So some examples of content pillars, obviously you'd have education, product. What
can
are some
be
other?
Anything. We have we do a lot of personal now. So that can be a really good content pillar because people just want humanization. These days we do inspirational. So if you're inspiring someone to do something or be something, you said educational, aspirational, like anything really, you can probably turn into a content pillar. It's just about, what what that is in like a value form.
And is content marketing more than pretty pictures on Instagram?
100%. Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably not even that anymore. And I think even one of the trends that we're seeing this year is that people want more raw and authentic content, and which is visuals as well. Like you don't need to be aesthetically pleasing necessarily. It's definitely more around, what message you're conveying and what brand you're putting out there. Yeah, it's not really about the visuals that much anymore at all.
Mm. And is that a challenge when you're sitting in front of a client and in their mind content marketing is all around the pretty pictures on Instagram and because they look at everything through such a brand lens, how do you influence them to think about their strategy differently? And I guess as a follow-up question to that, how do you ensure that they value content marketing enough to make it as part of their overall business strategy?
And I think it's a challenge to get that across to them, because I feel like they come to us because they don't have the creativity to build their content. So I think the challenge is probably more around what value you're offering with the content. As in, like, as for me as a business owner to them, it's more, around that and making sure that we're reporting on those values that our content is kind of providing to them and in turn providing to their business or brand. Again, it's just showing them the value in it and showing them the results of, businesses or brands that have kind of prioritized content marketing. And I'm very passionate about it, and I kind of have these open and transparent conversations with people about, why it's important in business and for your brand. And I think when they're coming to us, they're kind of there already. They just need a little bit of expertise or something to get them over the line. I think everyone kind of knows it's important. It's just understanding what it is and why.
And then how that leads to outcomes.
Yes.
Or like how content creates business or creates a presence.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same, but within recruitment, and I think everything we do in life, every business, property development, marketing, recruitment, we are all aligning a customer and a purchaser with a product. So it all relates back to how you sell that product, how you sell yourself, and it's all related to the content. But something I try to do, which I've had a lot of success with, is push my own personal brand. And people who follow me on LinkedIn, my content on LinkedIn is probably not recruitment related or even PG half the time. I just sort of try to push myself and my things that I find funny or my sort of personal way of looking at things. And that's my content. And I do and my engagement and my, presence, I think, does better because it's like targeted
but it's authentic.
Authentic is the word I'm
and it's your
for.
personality. So I think that's where it works really well. And from a strategic perspective, that's what you want. If you can create a voice which is authentic, which relates to the people in the audience that are listening to it or seeing it, that's half the battle.
And we had Nick Sproul on, and he was talking about the exact same thing, bringing humanity, to your business and your pillars and what you're putting out there into the environment.
It's honestly a content pillar that we include in all of our strategies, personal. And it's one we try to. It's our biggest challenge, and I understand why. Like, people putting their face behind a brand can be scary, and we get that. When I first started this business, I was scared about it, but you kind of need to do it. And once you do, you see results. Like, you honestly do. And it's true because
you had a viral you had like a viral is it a viral TikTok or a viral video?
Reel on Instagram.
A viral reel. I'm not. I think Beck, you're the same. It's like that meme where it's like I wait for the TikToks to come onto Instagram later. Yeah, I don't have TikTok. I have no idea. But you had one go viral. So how many people saw that?
Oh, I can't remember. I think
it's up to 2 million. I told you, I'm so proud of you. I look at it all the time.
2 million, apparently, according to Beck.
And that's just like a 30-second video that was probably something silly and you didn't think would go viral. And now 2 million people have been reached by.
I mean, it was silly and it was a bit of a fun one, but it was very relevant to my audience and what it was kind of talking about, the best times to post versus the worst time to post. So a lot of people saw value in that because they want to know that. So it was offered a lot of value, and I think that's why it went. And I think Instagram and all the social media algorithm that you see across the board will kind of boost posts that provide value and people want to engage with.
Absolutely.
So do you think it's important in terms of, so obviously you specialise in this and the Content Creature specialises, and we talked to our last guest, Nick, about marketing teams and having people, a digital marketer, branding strategy, etc. Can you talk about the value of using an agency, for example, or someone like you who this is what you do all day, every day, whereas someone who may be in a marketing function who may be like me and doesn't have TikTok and doesn't really understand all of those things, what's the benefit of going to someone like yourself to do that for them?
Yeah. So the benefit, there's so many benefits, but the biggest one that I kind of talk to people about is that we're experts in it. We love social media. We know social media, and it's an ever evolving world. It changes literally every day. There's trends and updates, and there's different platforms as well. So, and we know which ones work best with which brands, and there's that side of it. And then there's also the actual content side of it, where we're very creative as well. We love creating content. We're not going to do a generic kind of post. And I see this across a lot of accounts where you could go on to 5 accounts in property. I'm not going to name any. You go into 5 accounts and they're all very similar.
Yeah, like they're pushing the same information. Yes. So therefore you're not differentiating.
And they're very promotional.
Are you selling a family, or are you selling a block of land, or, because there's always that kind of, we often will go back to what's comfortable, and what's comfortable is a happy family in a field. And then that's what we'll use to put out on our content.
And one was one grandparent and one kindergartner holding hands,
walking to school with backpacks on. And those kind of assets are relevant and still important to the overall
aspirational
positioning of the brand. Yeah. However, I think that there's also much more strategic ways of looking at content and what your audience want to engage with.
And I honestly think there's so much opportunity, especially in the property industry, to shake things up with social media. I don't think there's been enough prioritizing of it, and I feel like it's going to take kind of one business to try to shake things up, and it'll just blow up for sure.
What's a brand in any category that does content marketing, social marketing extraordinarily well?
Oh gosh. I straight away think it's, I don't want to plug another podcast.
You can plug another podcast.
But I think of Shameless Media. Mm-hmm. They do content marketing so well and I feel like they've done it so well from the very beginning because they've understood their audience and they know what they want and they deliver it every day they deliver on that. And it's authentic and raw as well, even though it's a podcast and you record it and you edit it and whatnot, it's still very authentic. And they would have a very good content marketing strategy overall.
I think, and this is potentially very controversial and some people will completely disagree with me, but the Kardashians as a brand, I think that the way that they create and curate content and tell their stories and
it's relentless.
That's relentless. But look at what they've built. It's just extraordinary. Mm-hmm. So I think, there's, and that's very different to what a corporate brand or a consumer brand would even do. But I think, they just share everything. So maybe that's, their strategy is, where everything is content. Everything's up for grabs.
Everything is content.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people would say, they're not real, they're fake, but they're very,
they're one of the largest
real
businesses, essentially.
Yeah.
Whether it be a family, they're a business and one of the largest and most profitable in the world.
Yeah.
So you can't ignore what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then I guess switching back to property, because that's probably what our audience wants to hear about rather than the Kardashians. I could speak about the Kardashians for a long time. Thinking about the future of content marketing and property, what do you think the overall trends will be? And I'm really interested in user-generated content and how future residents are going to influence the content marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think in all content marketing, the future is UGC, user-generated content, and it is the humanization side of things that we talk about as well. I think consumers just want personal content that they can relate to. And user generated is just it's so easy when you do it right. If you're offering a product or a service that people are loving, then why wouldn't they kind of talk about it? Or give you the content to then reshare. I'm trying to think. I thought of an example actually. I don't know if you saw Dan White, a comedian. He posted something. He tweeted this interaction that he was having with Toyota, and they've got, I don't even know how many followers, but obviously would have a lot. He, over the space of 2 months, he messaged them a couple of times just saying good night, and they would reply good night.
Oh yes, I did see this.
And then one day, last month, he messaged them saying, start a new job tomorrow, feeling super nervous. And then they
wrote back.
They wrote back and said something along the lines of, you've got this, stay confident, project confidence, smile, and remember they hired you for a reason, and even had like a love heart emoji. And
whoever was the bot behind that was a very smart bot.
Like, I don't think it's a bot, it's a person.
Yeah, well, whoever they were.
This is the point of it. Like, that's a huge brand. And doing something so simple like that, like being a person.
And being cheeky.
I wonder if they could tell you how many sales that generated, or how many. Okay, here we go.
He did another tweet. I didn't read the full thing, but he did another tweet, and it was something like, this had so many reshares and comments, and like it went viral.
Yeah.
I've done the calculations. This is how much money I've made for
Toyota.
you.
Yeah.
Can you please send me a sticker? And they sent him a sticker. So his next photo was him with a sticker. Like, it's brilliant.
Do you have clients coming to you going, we need to go viral?
Yeah, because that's like,
every day.
It doesn't have, I mean, we've spoken about you going viral and this going viral. And unfortunately, not everyone can go viral. But, do people come to you wanting that?
And how do you temper their expectations?
They do. And I temper it by saying to them, like, why do you want to go viral? Like, what is the purpose of this? Because, we went viral, and it's great for our brand and great that like, hey, like we're selling social media and look, we're doing social media really well. But for a brand that wants to go viral, like if it's, having more people come to you, okay, so then what are you doing with those people? And like, what are they doing with you? Because I don't know, some of the time they'll just drop off anyway. Are they buying anything from you? Is
it converting to a sale of a property?
Or are they like promoting you? Are they doing anything for you? Like I'd kind of prefer our client. I mean, obviously it'd be great if they had a huge following or whatever, but it's better to have a solid following of, 200 people who are these loyal people that buy from you or promote for you, rather than, 10,000 people who just sit there and don't even engage with your content after that one viral post.
And it does open up opportunity for people to be negative as well, particularly in property. I think if you look at any ads on social media, there's always going to be a negative voice because there's always going to be people who are unable to access property, and that's
and I will say this as well. When we had, before our viral reel, we had 2,000 followers, and our engagement, like the reach on our content was amazing, and it was just like made me so happy. Every time we posted, it did really well. We got over 10,000 followers after this reel,
and it's dropped.
It's dropped. No one sees our stuff anymore because it gets lost in the mix. Like so it's not. Yeah, this is what I say to my clients or people that come to us. I'm like, this is not something that you should be aiming for. There are so many other objectives that you should be trying to reach with social media.
And having someone like you who is an expert in this to explain all of that would probably be more beneficial than, say, for example, hiring someone as a social media specialist who's straight out of uni and potentially
posting on Facebook every day.
It's just posting on Facebook and doesn't really know what they're doing and just using hashtags.
Yeah.
But in that, instead of having that, potentially using that funds towards diversifying the team in more senior roles or more specific experience and using agencies to do different things.
Yeah.
Recruitment fees to find people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I've had clients come to us saying, like, we hired this person for social media, like they've got an internal person, but they don't really know what to do and they can't really think of content to create. And it's like, well, why did you hire them? And this is why you should outsource it to someone who knows what they're doing. And like, you're right, there's people out there that would love social media and think that posting on social media every day makes them.
Oh, I would think it's hard work. Your own, like my own Instagram, putting up a picture gives me like stress and anxiety, and you do it all day, every day for multiple. How do you kind of juggle not feeling burnt out and overwhelmed?
And off my notifications.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I kind of limit my screen time when I get home, which I don't even want to go on my phone when I get home. but I also kind of need to keep up to date with what's happening and things like that. But I just like monitor it. And if I'm feeling burnt out, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to have a break. I don't want to post. And also, yeah, we're on socials a lot, but we plan ahead a lot, and we kind of have that allocated time each month to be like, this is what we're posting. We'll just schedule that in. And like for our clients, we do always schedule it in. That's done. All we need to worry about is the engagement side of things, interacting with accounts and things like that. So yeah, I think we just like monitor it. And if you're feeling like you're getting burnt out, just having a break.
Touching on something you just said, turning screens off or limiting screen time at home piqued my interest, because I certainly don't do that. You're a working mum, working parent, 2 gorgeous little girls at home. How do you balance being a business owner, having a team, bringing on new clients,
growing your
business with 2 young girls and a new husband?
Well, I think Scott, my husband, has been my biggest supporter, and I could not do it without him, that's for sure. I don't know. How do any of us do it?
I don't know. It's the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, but I think it's just, I feel like you need to have self-awareness and just check in with yourself every day. Okay, what am I doing today? What do I need to do? Am I giving my family the love that they deserve, the attention they deserve? And I think just having that self-awareness and checking in every day makes you accountable and keeps you on top of it.
And I think it's shifting expectations that you put on yourself. I think that we've been in environments where we've had quite a structured day every day. You work from 8 till 6 or whatever it is. And you can't do that as a working parent. You know, you need to get your kids to daycare or school, and then you need to get dinner on the table and all of those things. So I think shifting, for me, it was shifting that expectation that I would have a solid 10 hours to I might have 6 hours here and then I'll have 4 hours at the end of the night, and that's okay. That's fine.
And it's having those expectations with yourself, but then giving those expectations to your clients or stakeholders as well. And being real and open with them and being like, hey, I've got 2 girls at home. And I feel like a lot of our clients come to us because, I don't know if this sounds floggy, but like my face is the brand, and they come to me because they're like, she's like a working mom, she's hustling. They can kind of relate to me.
So people might be scared about saying, I've got 2 kids, I can't do this right now. But really, the best clients you're going to have are the ones who you have those great relationships with, because they understand that that is your life and that family comes first, etc. And they're not going, like, they're the clients you want to work for, that you'll do great work for, who will come back to you all because of this transparency.
Yeah. The big property platforms, so REA, Domain, etc. How are they using content, and I'm really interested in how they're connecting content to paid advertising?
But they're getting into more of the UGC, user-generated content, which is amazing. I think they've done that well for quite a while, and they share a lot of like data and insights as well.
They have a lot of experts, which I think helps.
Yeah, but I think they
economists, etc.
do really well at knowing who their audience is and what value they can provide. So they do really well at that. Is there opportunity for them to do even better? Absolutely. I think there's opportunity for everyone to do better, but feel like it could be quite generic and a bit cookie cutter across the industry. So there's definitely opportunity to shake things up there.
And another question, AI, ChatGPT.
Here we go again.
ChatGPT. Content is an area that people could use AI for to generate content and to write blogs and to even write Facebook posts or LinkedIn posts. How do you think that's going to influence content marketing in general, and what are some of the pitfalls that people should be considerate of?
I think it's like a really daunting trend that's emerging really fast this year, like very fast. And there's pros and cons. I think brands can produce a lot more content in a lot less time. But for us, we focus on that creativity and the authentic and original content. And social media especially is all about original content, and they're gonna be pushing that a lot more this year. So how much can AI come up with original content? I'm skeptical. But on the other hand, it's great for those data and insights and great for planning and scheduling. So it can save you time in that. And even we've got
maybe more written content as opposed to like
video it would image. Be. But again, like is it going to be creative and original enough?
I always find that it's much easier to read and edit content that's already done and kind of rewrite it than start it from scratch. So if you've kind of got a base level of content there, then you can go through it. And I think that's where it will save time.
Yeah.
Where you could use this content that's been generated, but actually make sure that it's got the right tone, that it's got the right emotion, that it's got, it's representing your brand and the way that you want to speak. But, it does a lot of that kind of pulling data from different places and really helping to formulate
So if you're
that.
using that, in the right way, then definitely that's great. But it's making sure that you're still doing something original. And when we talk about humanization and making things personal, doing it originally is going to be the best way around that.
Do the two of you have any advice for people wanting to leave the corporate world and to start their own business? You've both done it. I haven't. I don't know if it's for me. But is there anything you would do again or do differently?
I mean, advice would be just back yourself. But another piece of advice I would give is don't just start a business for the sake of starting a business. Like we've had people come to us and they're like, I got this product, I got this service, but I just can't sell it. And like first thing I say is like, so who is it for? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, so who did you create this thing for? And they're like, well, just anyone who wants it. And it's almost like someone comes to you. No, someone wakes up one day and they're like, I want to
run a business today.
I'm going to make a purple rock. No one has done a purple rock before. So
it's so innovative. Yeah. It's going to go global.
People will love it. So I'm going to create 100 of them, sell those, make some money, make some more. But then who wants a purple rock? You can't just make something and then market it and it's going to go. So you need to be, solving a problem or offering that value.
So this comes back to that authenticity about you wanting to start a business because you believe in something or you believe in your ability.
Yeah. That as well as that there is a need for it.
There needs to be a market. So you need to be confident that there's a gap in the market that you can fill and provide value for. So with Polkadot, there's, I've got an extensive network of people in the property industry, and I know that they've got different types of teams in place. They've got projects at different phases, and I was really confident that I would be able to provide a senior level of marketing and sales strategic advice and support to those businesses throughout their kind of their journeys with their properties. And that's for me, that was the gap that I saw and what I saw the opportunity to fill. But you need to do that. And I think, as Em said, definitely back yourself. Take the time and the space to really build out, and this sounds, but build your strategy. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know what your value is, what your purpose is, who your audience is. Like we're marketers, so we kind of intrinsically get it.
You do that all day.
Yeah. And then, and create a brand. Make sure your website, make sure everything that you're putting into market represents you as a business, as an individual, and that your brand reflects the quality that you'll be able to provide to future clients.
Do you have any advice for someone who is wanting to get into social media marketing or what content creation, if someone wanted to come work for you, what would you be looking for within their portfolio or within their skill set?
Definitely creativity. Anyone could probably do it. If they wanted to, they could probably do it. But
to do it well
and to do it differently and to stand out in a very saturated industry, you definitely need to be creative and you need to be confident in using that creativity. And it's something that I kind of look for when I am looking at growing my team. Is this person creative, and am I going to be able to just give them a license to be creative and trust them? And obviously, there's going to be a period where they need to build up their confidence, but having that from the get-go and knowing that they have that creativity is huge in this space. And probably
resilience,
yeah.
Like there's a lot of trolls on social media. There's a lot of knockbacks. There's a lot of people saying this is not funny. You have to have a really strong, resilient mindset to keep posting every day.
Yeah. And I also think, and it's probably the same thing with most marketing channels, brands have an idea of what they want to put out in terms of content. and you kind of need to sway them sometimes, because what they think is a great content marketing strategy, or even just content in general, may not actually be.
Well, like the grandpa and the child in the field, it's been done.
Yeah.
Right? It's been done. Yeah. Let's find something else.
Yeah. And so you kind of do have to have a bit of, what's the word? Confidence, or a bit of oomph to be like, this isn't working. This is very generic, or this is, there's opportunity to do this instead. And like,
so you have to be brave.
You have to be brave.
And thinking about your career in property, 15 years is a long time to spend in property. What elements from your property career have you been able to take and use in your new business?
Well, I think my property career is what has led me to realize what I love doing, and that's connecting people and engaging and helping people engage with each other and engage with a product or service. So I think that's what's led me to this role, and for me to have this business. Like, I think if you probably would have asked me 5 years ago, and you probably did ask me back, what do you want to be when you grow up? I had no idea. But I knew that it was in the space of like community engagement and like connecting people, or events and activations and things like that. So I think
that's okay for anyone out there that's listening to this who's young and you don't know what you want to do when you grow up. It's okay to be in your 20s and your 30s and not really know what your path is going to be, because you can absolutely change directions, or you can stay in the same direction and still have a really fulfilling career and life. So
I never thought I was going to be a recruiter in the property development field 2 years ago, let alone when I was younger, and I'm still not grown up, and I still can't believe I'm here, but I love my job, and sometimes it happens like that. You just fall into the greatest career path you could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. Good sliding doors moments, I think, in everyone's career that leads you to where you should be. And I think it's really important to always know that, the path that you're on is the right one.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting very deep here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, that's what a podcast is for, is to deep dive and go deep.
And if you could influence one of your property clients to do anything, what would it be?
Shake things up. I mean, we've spoken about it, don't do the cookie cutter. And I mean, outsource your socials. It's not a plug, but honestly, just give it a go, see what happens.
Yeah, what have you got to lose?
Exactly.
Like, try.
Exactly. And I think there is this feeling in the industry where people want to kind of keep things in-house, but some things you just need to outsource. And that would probably be my biggest thing, because I think the property industry hasn't prioritized social media, and probably hasn't really needed to. They've probably more prioritized your email marketing and customer experience overall, which is great, like needed to happen. But I think now you need to look at your social media efforts and see what can be done there, because you have these communities, you have these people that are sitting there wanting to be highly engaged and connected.
Yeah.
And social media is where that needs to happen.
I agree. Look, and I think, the benefit of outsourcing different functions in the marketing space frees up your team to really, get deep into the strategy and really drive the brand and really make sure that the positioning of the project is where it needs to be. So I think,
And a good agency as well will just feel like an extension of your team. Like we would do on-site visits every week. We do, with some of our clients, even we do reel and TikTok sessions where we record videos and we come with, because obviously video.
Can I come to one of those? Because
we can do one if you want.
I don't understand. I think I said this, but I wait for the reels to come onto Instagram. Yeah.
But we do we don't just, take on work and then disappear. We're very much an extension of the team, and we'll work with that internal team to make sure everyone's working cohesively and we're, promoting the right brand and tone of voice.
I just wanted to talk about your team that you've built over the last 18 months. What's the most important thing to consider and contemplate when you're in a startup environment and you're bringing on new young people? How do you make sure that they continue to stay engaged, that they're continuing to grow, and that they're getting a lot out of their career?
I mean, as long as you're hiring people that want to work where we work and they want to do what we do, that's the biggest thing. And I'm no expert in recruitment. You would probably be better at answering this, but I've definitely, And I mean, I've got 2 girls working with me at the moment. One who's been with me for almost the whole time I've had the Content Creature, and she's amazing. She was probably the 4th person I interviewed, and we just clicked straight away. And I just had a feeling, trusted my intuition, and went with her and haven't regretted it since. And then my newer girl started last year, and we actually met. I tried on a wedding dress at her bridal shop where she was working. And so I was in the change room naked. We're having a chat, asked what she was doing. She was like, just finished uni, she's got a marketing degree. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Got her business card. And then...
Do you always interview people nude? Is that
definitely
maybe that's a tactic. I haven't tried it. I'll let you know how I go.
You should definitely try it.
If anyone's going to try it, it's going to be me. Nude recruitment with Nikita. It's the next segment.
I think it's got legs.
I like it actually. All right. We'll come back to it.
And then, a couple of months later, gave her a call and said, hey, what are you doing? And again, it was just we clicked, and I could just...
So basically, I don't want to speak for you, but you saw something in her, and it wasn't necessarily her resume or her, detailed written skill set that she had done this, and this previously. Yeah. It was that you had a feeling, and you had, how do I say, you had confidence that she would be a great fit, because a lot of people to me interview candidates and they go, oh, yep, they'd be a great cultural fit and we really like them. We can see them fitting in with our team, but they haven't done this, and this. And I think, okay, but you're potentially going to interview a candidate who has done this, and this, and they're not going to be a beautiful fit culturally for you, for your business, for your team. So having an open mind and not just narrow-minded on a certain skill set, because this person was working in a wedding shop. She hadn't had external experience, I'm assuming. No. And now she's one of your core members of your team and doing great things for you. Yeah. So being a leader or a mentor, a business owner, a hiring manager who can think outside those constraints.
Yeah. And I think it's you would probably agree, it's an attitude with people as well. You can have all those qualifications and whatnot, but an attitude is such a big one, especially I think being my own business owner. I just want someone with the right attitude. And if they don't, you can't change that. An attitude, you can't change.
You can't teach.
No. So that's another big one as well.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned transitioning from a corporate environment to a startup environment and starting your own business?
There are so many. There are so many lessons. My biggest one would probably be becoming a manager. Just as much as I never thought I'd be a business owner, I never thought I'd be a manager. I had no desire to be a manager. I don't know how you do it.
It's not for me. I don't like to manage people. I only care about it.
But when you're a business owner, you need to manage people. When you have a team, you need to manage people. And I feel like I am growing to love it. I'm still learning every day. And that's probably been my biggest challenge and lesson.
If you could jump in a time machine and start the Content Creature again, would you have a do-over?
Again and again. No, I'd do it exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, again and again. I'm so proud of what we've created, and I have challenging weeks. I have weeks where I cry, days where I cry.
You also have 2 young children.
But I would do it again and again, because I feel like every time I have a challenge or something happens, it's 100% happened for a reason, and there's something else around the corner that just kind of fills that spot. And I wouldn't change a thing.
Thanks for coming on, Em. So we're still new at this, so
I'm excited for you guys. I think it's podcasts.
We've known each other for a long time. I'm immensely proud of you and everything that you've done. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience with us and your journey with us.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you also to our sponsors, Polka Dot Property, a small but mighty marketing consultancy connecting people to place.
And Scouted, your go-to for property and construction recruitment. To scout is to seek, to be scouted is to be found.
If you'd like to get involved, you can reach out to Nikita and I at themasterplanpodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to like, share and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time.
Bye.